everybody, Tony here. I wanted to show you how I make almond milk. I don't know why I'm laughing now, but anyway, it's something that I like to do. And I got tired of the store-bought almond milk, so I decided I'm going to figure out a way how I make it myself, and it's actually quite easy. And I think it tastes a lot better than the store-bought stuff, and I just like it to know that I made it. I started with raw almonds. About a couple of raw almonds. Now this was soaking overnight. That's the easiest way to do it. Just put it in there, and I soak it in distilled water, or you could use filtered water. I think the idea here is not all sites that have all the places I've Googled online saying that you should use filtered water. No one mentioned distilled water, but it seems to work just as well. And at least you know distilled water has no impurities in it. I make my own distilled water. I have water distilled. But other than that, filtered water, fine. The idea is not to use tap water, which can tend to be more contaminated and can put more contaminants in these nice raw almonds that you're letting soak for at least 4 hours. Now they say after the time you've soaked it, some people have done it as little as an hour. I know I've read that, but most of them say at least 4 hours. Usually we can do it overnight. These have been soaking for way more than that. Anyway, you're putting it through a strainer, a stainless steel strainer here, and you rinse them off with the cold water. If there's any sediment or anything else, you notice a lot of the color was coming out of the almonds. Now, you put it in a blender. Right, so now I got my couple of almonds, raw almonds in the blender. Like I said, I use distilled water. So I'm going to fill this up to the 4-cup mark. I do, anyway. Not as quite often, actually, now. So I thought I'd make a video on it. I didn't see so many videos on how to make almond milk. And I like the idea of using strainers, a series of strainers, as opposed to continually buying either a cheesecloth or people are using nut milk bags, which I'd rather fall apart for a certain amount of uses. You spend $7 or $8 on a nut milk bag. And then some people have, one site, this lady who says she teaches how to make almond milk, and she uses paint straining bags. You can get in Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever, or any paint supply place, I guess, and they're much more inexpensive and do the same thing. They've never used paint through them, they're brand new, and you can strain the almond milk through there and then squeeze out, whatever milk you can, straining through the fine mesh of the paint strainer. But me, I use a series of strainers because I don't have to buy them anymore. You buy these ones, these are all stainless steel strainers, and it comes out really good. So anyway, you put this in the blender and on high, and you blend it. I use the liquefy button on here, but I say just the highest setting. And you blend for 2 minutes. 2 minutes. All right, now I know I said I'd see you in 2 minutes, but to you it must seem like I just left because I edited the film, so it really hasn't been, not 2 minutes to you, but it has been 2 minutes to me anyway, so what a knucklehead, right? So anyway, I just finished blending this. This is going to be one of those videos, you can tell, right? So anyway, I'm a little nutty. So making nut milk, this is going to be a little nutty. All right, so anyway, there you go. So look at that. Isn't that amazing when you think about it? It was water. I used distilled water or filtered water. And almonds, raw almonds that soaked for at least 4 hours. And look at that. It's pretty much, this is your nut milk. This is almond nut milk, but pretty cool. Now I'm going to go through a series of straining tests. This is what I do. You may want to use the cheesecloth. You may want to use the nut milk bag, or you may want to use the, it sounds funny using a paint straining bag. I don't know. It just sounds funny, but I'm sure it works. But anyway, people use it. I mean, somebody taught that in the almond milk class. But anyway, so I use a series of strainers just to catch the pulp. Some people may not like the almond milk pulp, me choking on it or whatever. But by the way, I don't throw out anything because the pulp that's left over and like the milky, like this has a little milky substance around it. I love it, and I just add some honey in there, mix it up, and it's still delicious. You know, so I just what I do. I'll use this series of strains. Like this is the pulp that's left over. I just knock it out here, put it in this container. And I'll scoop this out and put it in a different container, or I can actually bang it into a container. I just put this here for the purposes of this video. But anyway, this works. A little messy, but not much. So anyway, so I go through the process, like I say, it takes a little bit longer, but this stuff I use all the time. I don't have to buy any other excess equipment. I don't have to buy. I mean, I probably put the nut milk bag people out of business. But anyway, but you know, some people prefer the nut milk bags. It is a lot quicker. Well, but the paint straining bag, that's a good idea. Those things I think are very inexpensive. So anyway, so you can see I'm catching a lot of the pulp. I'm using 2 strainers. I like using a couple of different strainers here. And I'll go through, see, I can keep getting a lot of the pulp. Because you probably don't want to be associated with having pulp in your milk. I don't know. I guess that's really, we don't. Definitely a funny taste in the back of your throat. It don't be all that refreshing having some grainy pieces of nut, little almond pieces going down your throat. Yeah, I mean, it's not that you eat it like cereal, but for milk purposes in your cereal, that's another story. All right, so see, that was my first pass. That was my first pass. Shake that out. All right, fine. Now, pour it back in the blender. Pour it back in the blender. And I'm going to do it again. It's going to be a lot less pulp this time. There's going to be some, but not as much. And you see, it really isn't that time consuming. I'm doing this in real time now. I mean, just the time consuming part was it soaking. But you know, you're doing other things. You could soak that for a minimum of 4 hours. It could be overnight or whatever. You soaked it, and then you rinsed it off, and you blended it for 2 minutes. Wow, this is really a hard thing to do, right? All right. Now I'm going to do it one more time. Now let's see. Now this is much less can. Here's my third pass through these 2 strainers. So now there's hardly any almond bits. Almond bits and nuts. Hardly anything. So I'm pretty much done with those strainers. They've accomplished about as much as they can. And yet, that food was able to pour it through, not that finely strained, but finely strained enough to get most of the pulp out of it. Right? So I don't know why I put it back in there. So I said it was going to be one of those videos. All right, so anyway, doing this without any rehearsal or anything, I just wanted to show you how I make almond. Now see, that's the stuff that's left over. I don't know if you can see in there, but it's all the almond bits and a little foam. I tell you, add some honey in here. I'll just add some, just regular grade A honey. Any honey you want. People have their own local organic honey, whatever you want. I just pour a little bit of honey in there. And mix that up. By the way, you can pour that honey in almond milk too. I prefer raw stevia. Some people want to take a vanilla bean, cut the vanilla bean up and put it in the blender while it's blending so it gives that almond milk that vanilla flavor. And some people use vanillin, but they don't. Vanillin's like 40% alcohol, so I don't know if you want to have that kind of taste. Some people don't like that kind of taste, as other people do. That's up to you, so you can experiment. But, that's delicious. And that's just blended pieces of almond, and you see just a little bit of the foam of the milk. Now, probably if you used a nut milk bag, or a cheesecloth, or the paint straining bag, you're probably going to get a bit more of the milk and have just some of the pulp left over. But look, I still got quite a bit of really cool almond milk in here. I've got a little more, just about 3 cups. About 3 cups. So I lost the cup in the pulp and a little bit of the foam. But like I say, I like this byproduct. You can do a lot of stuff with that byproduct. You can make muffins from it. You can put it in your almond bread. But now I have a very fine strainer here. Excuse me, thank you. Anybody who's blessed me. But anyway, excuse me. All right. But now this part would take some minutes. I'm going to see we're going to just do that. And I let it pour through here. And this part here now, going slowly through here, and then some foam builds up that's left over here. I'll just drop it off in there into this side bowl here. Some of the top foam that is inhibiting the nut milk from coming through. And it gets out any little more fine particles of almond, of the almond itself. So I'll do this now. You see now, once it gets to the drip like that, then I pretty much just take a little bit of the foam off. It's all foamy and stuff, and I get that off. I mean, this is what I do. I'm saying not everybody's going to want to do this, but I don't like the fact of having to go out and continually buy paint strainer bags or nut milk bags, which fall apart and everything. I don't want to bother with that. So I'll do this. This process here probably takes about another 10 minutes. So the whole thing may take 15 minutes, and you got 2 to 3 days worth of almond milk if you're using it for your cereal. It's great. Now I'm going to come back and show you my last part. So to you, I'll be back in a few seconds, but to me, I'll be back in about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, let's finish up. There's the last part now. You know, I already had mixed in the 4 packets of stevia in here. It was my sweetener, use whatever sweetener you want. And I've got my 18 ounces of almond milk, 2 1/4 cups about approximately. And this is the final product. Like I say, I use it usually just for the milk, but you can drink it. Of course, it's a nice drink. Almond milk and cookies, whatever. I don't know. But anyway, this is the final product. I'm only kidding. I was in a rare form today. So anyway, I'm only kidding. It's delicious. Anyway, I don't know. It's just one of those things, folks. This is the part of the personality that I had wearing today. I'm watching it and just went with it. I thought it would be amusing not to have one of these stiff, dead, clinical YouTube videos where everything looks so, I don't know, just so dead. I want to bring a little humor and a little levity to a dreary world. But anyway, it is delicious. It's the way I like it. Some people like I said, sweeten it as you wish, or don't sweeten it at all. If you want to use nut milk bags or any kind of bag you want to strain it, one of those straining bags, paint straining bag, nut milk bag, cheesecloth, fine, that's up to you. You'll probably get more of the milk and less, and the pulp be segregated more. But I do like the byproduct. It's really tasty. I love that. And I like that as a side snack. Sometimes I have that for breakfast. But anyway, we got some bananas and throw some mixed fruit on top, and it's delicious. So anyway, that's how I make almond milk. It's easy to do. Maybe 15 to 20 minutes of your time, like to clean up and everything else. Wow, that's not a lot for a cup, 2 to 3 days worth of almond milk. I mean, how much you use, and you're doing it yourself. It's something that you're doing, and kind of empowering when you think about it. It's one thing, like some people grow their own vegetables, people make things from scratch, and it's nice to not be beholden to a mass-produced item, and I think it's great. I imagine this would pertain to many different nut milks, the different types of nuts that you can make milk out of. I guess I'll look into that, but I like the taste of almond milk. I like the taste of almond milk. And that's basically it. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I made you laugh. And I hope I was somewhat informative, actually. So anyway, till next time, until I think of something else that's somewhat instructive, and